You're listening to the Salty Sex Cast with Mariah and friends. Minimize the fear. Expand your awareness.
Hello.
Hi. It's so nice to have you here with me.
I jumped in on that one.
Yeah. Well, do it.
It didn't go well.
That's okay. You're not Pamela.
No.
No one's Pamela but Pamela.
As hard as I try.
Yeah. Well, it's Mariah here and Brady, but you heard another voice.
Whose voice was that?
I have my sister here with me.
The legend.
This is my sister Allegra.
Hi, everybody. I like
So
the legend.
The legend.
If you're watching on YouTube, we look exactly alike. Not really.
I'm excited because I feel
similar.
like you've been trying to keep her away from me. So,
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, while you were in the bathroom.
Oh, that's funny. No, I know you did. So, do we sound similar, Brady?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Similar.
I feel like I sound more annoying, though.
Annoying?
Yeah.
Really? I always thought I had the more whiny voice. Maybe it's just because I just whined more when we were kids.
You did whine more when we were kids.
Yeah. So it's really fun to have my sister on here. And the reason I invited her is we went on a trip recently and we're not like super open with each other. We're not super closed off either. But it was a really great bonding moment. And then I was like, hey, so I kind of have this podcast and I really don't want mom and dad to know. And, it's kind of hard, but I'm really proud of it. And I'm really I feel like the message that I share is I just really want to share that with you. And then I was like, yeah.
Hold on. We should talk about why you brought up the podcast, because I was so excited. I was like, we should do a podcast.
That's right.
And you were actually like, well, actually. And then you were very proud and you were talking about it.
Yeah. And so I was like, so I have podcasts and I'd love to have you on. It'd be great. But then I was saying, now that you know about the podcast, I should probably tell you a few things.
I should probably warn you.
And I was like, so this. And she was like, oh my God, me too. And I was like, and this. And she's like, yeah, me too. And I was like, and this. And she's like, yeah, did you know my time is this? And I was like, what? So it was this whole new thing, a whole different side of my sister I haven't seen. But then obviously she got to see of me too. Mm-hmm. It was so funny. And I was like, oh my God, we need to not tell each other things. We have so much in common. And it is hard too, because we live an hour away and she was living with my parents for a while. So it's we don't get a lot of time to chit chat. And especially about the real dirty things. So it was fun. It was really fun. I mean, my kids were still there, so we still had to kind of finagle conversations and then whisper and be really cryptic about things. Because my kids are fucking smart. They know.
Well, and I think my favorite part of that was I was like, can they hear us? And you'd be like, hey, who wants $100? And then no one would say anything. You're like, no, they can't hear us.
Yeah. Once we were in the car for 10 hours. It was a road trip. And they all have their devices and headphones on and one would be asleep. So I was just trying to bribe them with things. I was like, if they can hear me, I'll give you $100. They were all either asleep or headphones on, so it was great.
I hope one day they find this podcast, they go through that and they go, God damn it.
Damn it, I lost out on that.
I mean, who cares about mom being bi? I wanted the money.
Yeah. So I came out to my sister, which was really hard. I didn't think it was going to be hard, but it was you have been the hardest person to come out to.
Interesting. Tell me more.
Well, I think it was just because you've known me your entire life. So I'm like, this person knows
your entire life.
Oh, my entire life. Oh, yes. She's
Please.
my older sister.
Keep that straight, everyone.
And so I'm taller though. So she's my little older sister. So I think that was kind of hard because it was this person knows me probably better than most people know me. So like Justin, I kind of came out and discovered that when I was with him, it was very a gradual thing because he would have been another hard person to really come out to. But anyway, so
He
I
was
just
kind of there as it happened.
Yeah, it wasn't
I think was Justin in the category of the rest of us where we kind of knew before you did?
Yeah, he's always said that too. Yeah. But it wasn't like that I was worried that you were going to judge me or be disappointed at all.
that's good.
It was more like, I don't know. It was just kind of like, this is weird that I do have to come out. Like, can't I just telepathically tell you because you're my sister?
Won't
like,
you already
don't
know
you pick
this?
this up?
Yeah.
So I got it out. I was really proud of myself for like kind of sharing a big piece of me and everything. And then a few weeks later,
Yeah, we went to family pictures, and like at the one moment that we were away from our parents, I was like, "Hey, I am too."
and I was like, we're back. We're the queer sisters.
We're the queer sisters.
And, and didn't you make a joke about it without knowing?
Oh, this was so funny. So, the day before, or weekend before, oh shit, whatever. It was really close timeline. We had a family wedding, and I was with my parents, and my sister wasn't there, and we were kind of talking about you, and mom was like, oh, she went on a date, and I was like, oh, good. Like, I hope she finds someone that she really likes and stuff, and my mom said something about a he, and I was like, or she.
Being a wise ass, right?
Like, just being a wise ass, and kind of like, also my parents are a little like sheltered, closed off, like I don't want to be like, I just want to like open their vest,
Yeah.
And so I'm like, just those little kind of things. You don't have to have that one-dimensional thought. Like, just start. Anyway, so I didn't think anything of it. I was really just trying to like be a smart ass to my mom, who was like, Mariah.
Why are you always that way?
Yeah, I'm always
much, Mom.
always
Yeah.
that way. And so, and then when my sister like told me that, and like then we're driving home from family pictures, which were like a fucking hour away, and I was like, oh, I might have just inadvertently given my sister like totally like to my parents. I outed her, and I didn't mean to.
But I'm sure your parents probably just took it as a joke.
They totally probably took it as a joke. I could probably sit here and be like, yeah, mom and dad, like, we swing and we do this, and I'm bisexual, and they'd be like, ha ha ha, Mariah, you're so funny.
Always trying to stir the pot.
Yeah. I mean, there are a few things that my mom would probably be like, yeah, we kind of thought.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that they would necessarily think it's a joke. It would be in how you approached it as well.
Yeah.
I think the thing that mom would have the hardest part about would be telling other people, because she would feel other people would need to know, because that's just to her. And how she would say would be like, well, she like thinks that she is bi, like, or you know. But she's married to a man, so
they
it's
do
fine.
this thing, and I don't she'll get over it. She'll grow out of it. There's a lot of that. Like, that was kind of always how we were raised, and like you weren't gay unless something traumatic happened to you. Like, that was a survival response. Like, that's, I remember really having conversations with mom about that, and I'm like,
I didn't know that.
no, mom. And I got really offended one time, and then she like shut down and stopped talking to me. So I was like, oh, maybe bad way to approach it, because it's not, I don't think it's hurt. Like, that's how they grew up. That was society. And so I think she was just kind of like, I could have been a little kinder, I guess, in the way I approached it, that she would have probably been more open-minded and not so judged.
For as hard-nosed as her mom is, she is very sensitive.
Very sensitive. But she won't fucking show it. She just shuts down and walks away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her coping mechanism is to
Walk
like
away.
turn off and just,
Oh, yeah.
it didn't happen. Like,
Yeah.
no, but I was going to say, and I can't even remember. God, I'm turning into her mom. I'm forgetting shit.
So anomic aphasia runs in my family too.
Ah,
Yeah.
Yes.
anomic aphasia.
So it's going to be really
Hi,
fun
everyone.
with us together. But it's great because usually if I can't think about it, she can. And if she can't think of the word, I can. So it's really fun.
Perfect. Have you guys
Yeah,
ever
we're
noticed you
thinking.
have similar hand motions when you're speaking?
Yes.
I said
Mannerisms?
the Italian.
Yeah. Our mannerisms.
You speak Italian? Is that what you just said?
No, I just said it's the Italian. There's like a
Oh.
small,
It's the Italian name.
like the, yeah.
I just got a new cat. We named him Vito Genovese.
Aww.
He's a big fatty. I said
saw
hi
him.
to him.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if he's Italian or not. He won't tell me. Just stares at me mostly.
See how much he judges you on what kind of food you decide to prepare.
Oh, he's pretty judgy
Yeah,
on food.
yeah, there you go.
So he's definitely Italian.
So, but you mentioned something when I was like talking about the podcast and all these things, and I was like, hey, so if you know about the podcast, I kind of got to give you like a whole slew of things, because I didn't want you to hear it secondhand or
I
whatever.
do appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm glad I could talk to you about it. It felt so good to like share that piece of me with you. But you were saying, hey, did you know I used to? And I was like, oh, what? Tell me more. But then the kids interrupted us and then we never got to it. So I was like, fucking podcast. I need to know. And we're going to be recording. So tell me, what the fuck was that?
That's the air compressor out in the garage.
Well, Brady is going to go shut off the air compressor. That scared the shit out of me. I thought something was happening.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
Are you going to cut this out?
No?
Because you broke
No.
motorcycle.
So this is just going to elongate what everyone's going to like, the drama of finding out what it is
That you do.
that I do.
Yeah. And then it's going to have to fix our background. God, it's okay.
God damn it, Brady.
No, that's totally fine.
Just kidding. I love you, Brady. I just
If
met
it's
you,
on,
but-
I mean, if you're watching on video, it's going to be quite entertaining. Brady trying to get through the curtains
Har.
and the lights. Hold on. You can't just walk away without double checking and fuck it up.
That looks perfect.
All right. Thank you, friend. Give it a little swish.
Hi, guys.
You're fine. All right. A little behind the scenes. No, I'm not cutting anything out.
I'm proud
Okay,
that that's the first time the air compressor's ever come on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. I was like, what the hell? Working on your motorcycle because when we got photos
New photos.
out in the Bonneville Salt Flats, yeah, Brady hit a pothole on his front tire.
I think that's what did it. Yeah.
Oh,
So-
that sucks.
But like, didn't notice until you got home. So at least you got home completely safe.
Yeah, I don't know how I got home
Tire.
safe, to be
Yeah,
honest
that's
with you.
Yeah, no, I was like, that's
I
pretty
probably should have died.
incredible.
I'm glad you didn't, because then we wouldn't have met.
Yeah.
We would have had cute photos of you though.
Yeah.
For your funeral.
I remember when I hit that pothole, I remember like the only thing I was thinking was like Jamie, my wife was riding
Yeah.
with Mariah, is about to watch me go tumbling down the freeway live.
Dear God. And I'm
And I was
behind you.
like-
Scary.
That is actually a big fear of mine. So that's why I do not ever get close to motorcycles in front of me. Because I'm like, what if you fucking have to lay that down and I'm the asshole that runs you over?
Right.
That like is a huge fear. Anyway, I try to be as aware as I can of people on motorcycles in the road. There's some of those dickheads that just go through traffic like no other. And I'm like, just
Sure.
because you're in a small vehicle does not mean you can get away from someone veering over. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so Allegra, we've built up the suspension.
What's the thing?
The thing is, I used to dom. I might still, but
I might still. There might still be a sub out there waiting for me to give them permission to go date someone.
Consent.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me about you being a dominatrix.
yeah. What do you want to know? This
How
is
did
kind
it
of weird.
start?
I don't really talk to many people about this. How did it start? Ooh, that's a good question. So I'm not going to use any names, but one of my partners,
Male or
gosh,
female?
this is male.
Okay.
A while ago was like, I want you to cuff me up. And I was like, all right, I was like, I'm down to try, like, if that's something you want to do. And I was like, I really like this. So we tried some more things and it was really fun. So that's kind of how I got into it.
And just kept going from there.
Yeah.
Show the camera your pretty face. I'm just moving the mic for that. Okay, there we
everyone.
go. We've talked about this on the show a few times. We've had, like discussions about doming and things like that. And I was like, yes, I could totally do that. I don't care for that piece or whatever. And like giving people pain, like that would,
I'm
I'd
not,
have.
yeah. That's
But I'm
not
like,
mine.
just like withholding something, like not letting someone come.
It's so fun.
Like just those shit. I was like, fuck yeah. Something I've had to, because I love that both of us are like this. But yeah, I'm like, yeah, I could totally fucking do that. That'd be fun. I would do that.
It is a lot
So
of
who
fun.
wants to hire the doming queer sisters?
Well, what a night it would have been to be on the Patreon group, because we just had our Truth and Dare. Or Truth or Dare. Patreon.
Truth and Dare.
Truth and Dare.
How long has it been since you've played that game, Brady?
About 15 minutes. But
Oh, well, okay. Before that. Never mind, years.
Oh, wow.
yeah, I don't know. High school,
Yeah. Right?
I guess. Anyways, it was a
So
lot of
you're
fun.
forgiven for
Yeah.
fucking up the name.
I fucked it up, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
What a night to get Mariah and her dominatrix sister on. It's perfect.
Super fun.
We're fun. I mean,
We're a good time.
yeah. So coming out to each other.
Yes,
Oh.
ma'am.
Yeah. It's kind of funny.
What about it? Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I inadvertently just outed my sister. That was kind of funny because it took me a minute to realize that too. And I was like, oh, I said a joke.
Do you remember when you told me about that? And you're like, oh my gosh, when you were worried about
And
it.
I was like,
and then I was like, you want to hear the best part? I really was on a date with a girl.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. So
It really stuck out to her because she called me while I was at work. You're not gonna believe what happened.
Oh, no.
I was like, and it made me
I think I outed my sister. And I was like, well, everybody probably just thinks you were joking. Well, then she called back and said she really was out on a date with a girl. Good for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't too worried about it.
Yeah, so it's really how close we used to be. We used to be very close. I mean, we shared a room for decades,
Yeah. Literally.
pretty much until you and I moved out of the house. Like, kind of a shared room. There was like a divider, but it was still in the same room.
Yeah, divided. It was supposed to be a closet.
Yeah.
We won't get into our child. Go on.
Yeah.
Yes, we did share a room. We were very close. You would always like cover the covers so that when I would skip on school and mom would come and open the door and look inside, it would look like they were just messy and not that I was laying in the bed. Do you remember this? I would like make you
Oh, yeah.
like kind of like make it so that when she's like, oh, okay, she's at school. But really I was just like holding my breath and like flat against the mattress.
So in school, we were very different. We were very different
Very
students.
different. Mm-hmm.
I was like terrified to disappoint a teacher. And so like a straight A's, never was late, never skipped school. And then there's Allegra.
I didn't give a shit. I didn't give two shits about school because I was so bored.
Yeah.
It was because I was bored. We talked about this. And I have a problem with authority. Probably why I like to be the authority in most situations in and out of the bedroom. So yeah, I remember I had a teacher. The thing is not to like brag, but I'm really smart.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you would ace fucking tests
I would
without
ace-
even studying. It pissed
Exact-
me off.
Yeah. Yeah. It pissed off my best friend too. And because she would work so hard. She was so disciplined and she would work so hard and she'd probably get a B in a class. And I would get a B only because I would ace the test, but I would never do the homework because I just didn't give a shit and I never attended class. But I remember I had a teacher who got really upset once because I got really high scores on a test and she called me in front of the class and
You're cheating.
asking me why. No, it was more of like, why is it that you can, it was a state test, so there was no way to cheat. It's like, why were you in the 98th percentile of all of the state and you're not even doing your homework? And then I literally said, it's like, I just don't care. And that she just couldn't handle. It was like,
I don't give a shit about you.
I don't need to prove anything to you, lady.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was my sister for sure. Like, I remember my parents like disciplining her. She was fucking grounded 99% of
My
her
high school years.
teen years. And then by the time I rolled around, mom and dad were like, didn't do anything for Allegra, so go do whatever.
Best of luck to you.
But then we've talked about it. That would have been the best
Excuse me.
for you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
That would have been the best punishment for you.
Grounding me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was social. Like, I'm like, dear God, you take away my lifeblood of like being with people. And that's probably why like school was different for me a little bit, but the boredom still, and that's why I dropped out in high school
You're also,
for some time.
I
Yeah.
didn't.
You just didn't finish because you didn't care to go anymore.
Exactly. Well, you and I actually got our diplomas the same year
Yeah.
because I went back and got it. Because I decided I cared again.
But I was too busy. I was so boy crazy. Like, that is the reason I lived and breathed in high
That
school.
doesn't sound like the Mariah I know.
Right?
What?
And Allegra's friends.
It was just a phase.
Allegra's friends were always like, who's your little sister? And she was such a dick. She would never let me hang out with them. And I was like, but they like me.
I would cockblock
She was
so
very
hard
protective.
because I knew what they wanted.
Yeah, exactly. You were a good sister. I hated you for being
I was
a
like,
good sister.
I was like, I'm really short. I know you guys can't tell on camera or through the podcast.
You're coming off as a short voice. You are.
Am I? People can tell in my voice that I'm
that you're
5'2".
shorter than me, and then
Really, I
I'm
say
short.
5'2", but it's like 5'1",
Yeah.
depending on what shoes I'm wearing. Anyway, short, but I would like intimidate the shit out of them because I was like, you won't fuck with my sister.
You were a little scary.
Short,
me.
short girls are feisty in high school. Yeah. Little firecrackers.
Well, she
I like
drove
to
a
think I'm
piece of
still-
shit car, so she wasn't afraid to ram into someone else.
It's true. I would.
Remember
Yes.
sneaking out?
Yes. I knew exactly
You
where
knew
you were
where
going.
this is coming. Okay,
Tell the
so
story. I want to hear from your perspective, though.
I'm fucking just sleeping on a summer night in teeny tiny shorts and a tank top because I do remember what I was wearing. I remember all of our dumb shenanigans with what I was wearing. So
You
like
would.
barely not even covering my ass, and she was like, "Can you help me push the car?" Like something. But you were like panicking too because you were like, "Something happened. I need your help." And I was like, "Dear God!" And I probably had like slept in contacts too, so like it's like foggy, and I'm like trying to rub them back into place because I was terrible about taking care of my eyes, and I still was up until like this past year. Anyway,
Everyone, don't sleep with your contacts in.
I know it's bad. Don't do it. So, going out, and you had tried to sneak out of the house. So you left the garage open, and you were driving a car that was stick shift. It was an Isuzu Amigo for anyone who wants to look that car up.
1994 Isuzu Amigo.
I love how rated. Yes, it was a fucking fun ass
was
car to
best.
rally the shit out of it though. Like we had lots of.
Everyone called it the death trap.
Yeah. Well, because only half of the top, like only half of the roof would come off. So if you were in the back seat, it was like topless.
It didn't have seatbelts,
No seatbelts.
no radio or AC.
No, yeah, it was definitely.
Such a
And I remember you would always hang out in neutral and try to roll to save gas.
Yeah, legit. Back when gas was like $1 a gallon.
I know.
Oh,
I remember you would like have me run in. You were like, just go put like $5 and pump 5. And like I was like, oh, okay, that's enough to get around. I remember once I started driving and I was like, can I just get $5? They were like, you want 2 gallons.
You want half a gallon?
Right? Okay, so definitely skewed my view of what the fuck $5 was worth. But
Plus,
so
you weren't
she
coasting. Let's just
right.
call it that.
Yeah,
Go
so
on.
she had tried to push the car in neutral out of the driveway. But there was another car parked on the driveway. So she's pushing the car out and the door hits the other car and bends backwards.
like legit
all the way the other way.
backwards.
So the door is now flapped in front of like where the hood would be, like on that
We
front
do
of the
have
car.
the same hand movements, but we're opposite because
Yeah,
you're
you're
lefty and I'm a righty. Anyway,
So I had to help her push it back in and we were like squeak the door close, which I'm like, it didn't even close at that point. I just
No, it
remember her
didn't.
go like I remember that crushed metal squeaky sound because we're trying not to wake up our parents who their bedroom was right above the garage. I have no clue how they slept through that.
I don't know. They sleep like
But I just remember trying to like, we kind of lived on somewhat of a, like it wasn't a ton of traffic, but cars would drive by. And I'm like trying to push the car back into the garage with my ass hanging
Your
out.
butt
It's like 3 in the morning. And I'm like, people are probably like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, so that asshole. And then made me lie about it.
You just call me an asshole.
I did call you an
Okay.
asshole. Wake me up, push it in. And then she's like, oh, what was the lie? Tell mom and dad that like,
Because I went to my best friend's house that night, and when I pulled in, I didn't close the garage, so they didn't hear it go down.
So yes,
but I
they
didn't have
wouldn't
to
hear it.
open it.
Uh-huh.
So the lie was that when I dropped her off, I like hit a pole or something. I can't remember. Something like that. There was like no paint on there. There was like no pole.
Yeah, like it was very obvious the door
They-
went back.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it
Goodness.
didn't do anything to the, like, I think it was Dad's car that was in the driveway.
It was a
Probably
van.
his work van.
No, it was the van, the Aerostar.
Oh, shit.
Nothing. Like nothing.
Yeah, we had some awesome cars growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do remember
I've never even
that.
heard of an Isuzu Amigo.
Oh,
You've
it's the
never heard of
best,
it?
man.
No.
It's a great car. Anytime I see one, I'm like, memories. It's kind of like a tracker. What's the maker of tracker?
It sounds like the Geo Tracker.
It is just slightly bigger.
Or like the Sidekick. What is it? The Suzuki Sidekick?
Yeah, I think it's Suzuki Sidekick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very similar.
Yeah. So but
Honestly, I would still be driving that car.
I would too. Like, well, and then I remember Dad trying to teach me in that car, and I was like, I can't joystick. And he wasn't nice about teaching us.
He's not nice. He was not nice.
It's like slap your hand and like, stop. And I was like, when am I supposed to stop? I don't know. Like, I was doing 5 things at the
He's
once.
like, you're stripping the gears. It's like, well, you should tell me how not to do that, and I won't do whatever it is. Yeah, bless his heart. He's not a teacher.
No, but yeah. So sneaking out.
Yeah,
You would sneak out a lot because you were always grounded.
because it's always grounded. Yeah, and it wasn't like to like go to parties or anything. It was just to hang out with my boyfriend or my best friend.
Yeah. And then when I was like, no, I was sneaking out all the time or sneaking people in, and it was someone different or a party or I was coming home drunk or high or.
Because you're the extrovert.
Yeah.
I'm an introvert, and I like.
But then you fucking bailed on me by the time, like, you moved out. By the time I was ready to do all that, and I was like, where's my wingman? I need someone to lie for me. No one's here to lie for me. Wes.
And then Gavin was too young.
Yeah, our little brother just, he's
the sweetest. He's like the angel child.
yeah. I think
He really
like
is.
by
He's a
our
good kid.
he just saw both of us fuck it up any way you could. That he was like, no.
I think
I'm
it's
good.
very much said like exactly that without saying.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any questions for us, Brady? You've been kind of quiet today.
I've just been it's funny to watch because you guys are like definitely related for sure. And I was just thinking about like all the trouble I got into when I was a kid. Did you know when the sibling lost their virginity? Because my mom was like, she knew when my sister came home.
What? No.
She was like,
Well, first I have to think of when I lost mine, and then if you ever knew. You weren't in the house, I don't think.
No,
you
I
were
think
living
I'd
here.
moved out. I was like moving out. I moved out pretty quickly. I was kind of.
I don't remember hearing about yours, but I do know the boyfriend it was, and you guys were pretty serious. So I was like, if you hadn't, like, that's dumb.
Yeah.
But I do remember you were the first person I told when I was pregnant.
I do remember that too.
Oh my God, and I couldn't even keep a fucking straight face. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm pregnant. Ah! Like, covered
Well-
my mouth. It was so hard to say.
Can I say it? Well,
Yeah.
can I tell you from my perspective how that
Yes.
went? So it was so funny because it was for Halloween.
Well, I didn't get pregnant for Halloween.
No.
But we were hanging
It
out
was on
for
Halloween.
Halloween.
that would take some great planning.
That would take some great planning. So you came over for Halloween for me to do your makeup because you were a go-go girl.
Yep.
And I was like mid-stroke. And you're like, you just look me eye to eye, which is always really awkward when you're doing someone's makeup.
Well, I had just found, like, I had taken a test minutes before I came over. So it was like just so, I think I was silent the whole time too, which is not me. Like, usually I'm like, da, 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 and she's like, can you close your mouth so I can put lipstick on? Like, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. And you just like look at me like dead in the eye and you're just like, I'm pregnant. And well, no. You said, I forget this part because this is the good part.
Can I tell you
You're like,
something?
can I tell you something? And you won't tell mom and dad. And I was like, no.
But I still tell her.
Why'd you say no?
Because I don't want to be responsible for not telling them something if it's important.
Oh, okay.
And then she's like, I'm pregnant. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you can tell
fucking
them.
tell
I'm not going to tell them.
She's like, I'm not getting that. I remember when I told Dad, he didn't believe me. He's like, no, you're not. Like, he just thought I was joking. I was like,
No,
Dad, like, this,
sweet Dad.
I didn't even like lay it up as a joke. Like, I just was like, hey, by the way, I'm pregnant. And he was just like, ah.
Did mom know before you told dad?
Yeah, no, I told Mom first, and she was like, you're gonna have to tell your dad. So she didn't even want to tell Dad. It was a whole slew of a lot of me being a very young person who was very much learning what natural consequences looked like. I had a lot of massive mistakes then and paid quite a bit for them. But it was like one after the other, after the other, after the other. So that's kind of like,
was pretty
dear
quick
God, this is the
succession.
only thing that you haven't told us. Like, either you're dying of, something, or you've, are addicted to drugs, or you're pregnant. So it was like,
Mom
the
told me
last
once,
thing.
she was like, well, I was waiting for her to tell me that she was a porn star.
it almost happened. It did almost happen. There was a few times that, like, either just going to start or like stripping or something. It was always on the table for me.
Yeah.
Like, it never was off. So, and then I got pregnant, and then my whole life was for my little boy who's fucking 12 years old now.
I know.
Jesus.
I'm taller than you.
And almost as tall as me. He is not taller than me yet.
I don't know. I feel like last time I saw him, he was taller than you.
He's not taller than me yet, so he's not taller than you. But he's
Because I
close.
feel like that's a huge piece of like your kids' lives when they finally get taller than you. Like, and I think mostly moms can relate to this. Like, not rarely, but it's not all the time that kids are taller than their dads. But
Right.
yeah, it's like a big milestone.
It would be a miracle for your kids to be taller than Justin.
Piper wants to be as tall. She's like, I want to be as tall as you, Dad. And I was like, you go, girl. You be that Amazonian woman you're meant to be.
She's pretty tall though. Like
She's so tall. Have you seen her
age.
fucking feet? Are so
yes.
long. I'm like, dear God.
I made her put her feet up next to mine because I have tiny feet. Mm-hmm. And I was like, girlfriend, we can almost share shoes.
Yeah.
I was so excited.
Bronson's
she's 8.
feet are already bigger than mine.
Yeah,
But-
me too.
Yeah. Anyway, so growing up, all the things, I remember talking about what sex was to you. Oh, this has got to be one of our California houses.
What sex was to me?
Yeah, like asking you about it. And you were like not happy that I asked you about it. And you were like, just go ask Mom. I don't know if it's because you didn't know what we were young, like young elementary. I don't know if you just didn't know what it was either. So then you were like, I don't want to deal with you. Or if you were just like, I'm not taking responsibility for this.
Well, if it was our last house in California, then I knew what it was, and I was definitely deflecting. But if it was any other house, I probably was doing exactly what you said and just like, I don't know, but I don't want to be the one who asks, so
Yeah.
you do it.
And I was the one who always asked, or got in trouble for being mouthy. I always got in trouble for being mouthy.
Yeah.
Talking back, being a brat.
What?
I do remember always.
I used the bride.
What?
I do remember always telling people like a way to fuck off was you're not the boss of my body, which I'm sure was like Mom's way of trying to teach us like autonomy and then like to protect yourself and like you don't let people touch you without like your permission and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'm not fucking doing anything if I don't want to do because you're not the
that.
boss of my body.
I can
That's
imagine
how
you say that to your mom.
That's how I took this. Oh,
She
I
did.
did all the time.
And then
the
she's
time.
like, ah,
Yeah, no, I remember.
that's not what I meant.
Yeah, and I was just like, you're not the boss of my body. And she was like, fine, I'm not. And then walked away and left me in the store. She was just bawling there. I bet she probably was only gone for like 10 minutes, but really, maybe
When
even
you're a
less.
kid, it feels
but
like
it feels like
forever.
fucking forever. And I was like, okay, I'll listen next time.
Mom is the queen of tough love.
Yeah, natural consequences. All right, go ahead, jump on that bed. Let's see what happens. And then as soon as we get hurt, sucks. You know, definitely not like, oh, I'm so sorry, you know. And so I try to be the medium between Mom and Dad.
Yeah, because then Dad's on the far opposite end of just.
He's not coddly, but he's definitely very like into it. Every movie he cries, even if it's
Yeah,
not
so
sad.
sweet.
He's just very emotionally invested in cinema. But yeah.
He cried. My favorite is when he cried in Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
That's so sweet. Sweet old man.
Which part?
Like all of Avatar.
Oh, okay. Like just the whole time. Like as soon as it turned on.
Well, it's
The
like when
best
they started bulldozing the planet, and then when he like died.
He finds out right at the beginning that his brother's dead. Right?
I can't. God, that's been so long.
Okay.
The second one's coming out. All I know. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
I like Avatar.
It's funny. Jamie made a comment because I was like, "Oh, James Cameron went to the bottom of the Marianas Trench to film that footage," and she was like, "Why? You couldn't fake that fucking dark hole in the ground?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I guess you could."
Did he really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Took a submersible to like the deepest part of the ocean to shoot footage for that.
I had no idea.
And then Jamie's like, "It seems expensive."
Hey,
It is
if you can.
If you're James
do it.
Cameron, you do whatever you want.
You do whatever you want. Which was the attitude I did have growing up.
Sorry.
Do whatever I want. Yeah.
Future Man. That's the show. Have you seen Future Man?
No, I haven't. I've never even heard of it.
You gotta watch it, especially after this conversation about James Cameron. It's hilarious.
Okay.
I'm just gonna put that out there for anyone who wants to watch it.
Okay.
Anyway, so growing up, you were saying.
that I was like, yeah, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. Like, there was definitely no one. And even if someone tried to warn me, hey, there's a natural consequence to this action, I'd be like, fuck off. I'll find out myself.
Do you know how angry that would make me
Oh, yeah.
as your sibling?
You were just like, duh. You knew jumping on the bed you were going to get hurt. You wouldn't, and you didn't have any sympathy for me either when I would get hurt. Yeah, my sister tried to fucking mummify me.
That is one of my favorite stories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Have I shared this story?
No.
Oh.
Not with me, anyways.
Oh, you're in for a treat. So I was probably first grade.
Yeah, that sounds about right. The tracks, because I was third grade.
Okay. So maybe kindergarten then, because anyway.
Yeah.
And she was learning about ancient Egypt in school.
And I was obsessed.
She loved it for years and years and years. And so she's like, let me mummify you. All you have to do is lay here on the bed and I'm going to like wrap you up in cloth and all this stuff. And I was like, all right, sure. We're on our bed, white lace bedspread, because my mom's just, I guess, thought that was perfect for young girls because we shared a bed. Yeah. At that point, it was like a full bed. We both shared, pretty young kids. Anyway, so she's sitting there, like, doing all these things. She has, like, jars out and, like, pretending to, like, put my organs in jars. What do they do with brains, Brady?
They use a hot poker.
Yeah.
And they stick it up their nose.
Yeah.
Scramble it about.
Scramble it about.
What does this fucker do to me? A crochet hook up my goddamn nose.
So resourceful.
And then tries to pull it down, but it gets caught in my septum. But that asshole kept pulling.
She thinks it's your
Very
brain.
stubborn. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've never seen blood rush, like gush out of somebody's hole before, like ever. Like
It was like a murder scene immediately on this white.
massive amounts of blood. I'm screaming bloody murder. I'm sure mom was like reading a book or something. And then so like, I'm just imagining now as a mother coming in and you've got a hook in your hand and I'm bleeding all over the white bedspread. The first thing she does, get off the bed. Like, Mariah, stop bleeding on the bed. So the first thing she has to do is make sure I don't bleed on the, she was more mad in the split second. Yeah. Of me bleeding on the white duvet cover than anything.
Legitimately.
And, yeah. I remember that. Mm-hmm.
That was good times.
That was a little traumatizing.
I was going to say, is that a memory or a trauma? Her eyes have gone blank. She's just kind of looking off into the distance.
So that's why I don't crochet.
Okay, now you gotta sell crocheted like stuff.
Yeah, little crocheted mummies. With
Blood-stained nostrils.
Yeah, right. So that's one fun story.
So that demonstrates how. So you were very much like, fuck you, you're not the boss of my body.
Yes.
But I was like a bad child in the fact that like
She could convince you of anything. Anything. She would tell me all the lies all the time, where it was so hard to trust you when I was like actually aware of like what trust was, and I'm just like,
I feel bad about that.
bitch, I want to trust you, but I don't know. I don't know. You've abused this power you've had over me as my older sibling, as my only older sibling. She convinced me that she was sent to be my older sister. And of course I wanted to be special no matter what. So she was like, you were special. And I was sent here to protect you from red cars. Like shit like that. And so anytime a red car would drive by, she's like, duck. Or she would like get in front of me. And like, I think this probably had to happen for like months.
Push you into the bushes.
Yeah.
You're just having fun pushing your sister into the bushes.
I was
There's a
so
red car.
gullible. So gullible. But
The best part is I don't remember that at all. Like until you told me that story recently, I don't remember telling you that or doing that.
yeah, I remember it.
I do. I'm sorry to traumatize
No,
you.
you're fine. I don't think we've ever cut each other's hair. Like, how siblings have done that, or like,
It wasn't like malicious. I just like to like fuck with people.
yeah, she gets in your head.
Yeah.
She's good with the like psychological sibling warfare.
Which probably helps when you dom.
Exactly.
That's what I was just thinking that, and I was like,
Part of the experience is like you're
getting
building
in
it
your
up
head.
and
Yeah.
getting into people's heads. Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
It's so fun.
And then
I like to start early in the morning and send pictures like of shopping at the hardware store for
of things,
for-
yes,
yeah, you know.
objects. She sold what is now called
Pure romance.
Pure Romance, but it was called Slumber Parties back then. She was a consultant. I think my senior year of high school you started.
Yeah.
But I was like, you educated me on a lot of other things, like not just P&V kind of sloppy oral sex, like more of like what pleasure is and how to pleasure yourself and what all these toys are and things. And it was like so fun. So I'd go to you for a lot of things, like a lot of questions. I remember that, like butt stuff. I was still like, I don't know. You gave me a tube, like a tester tube of anal ease.
Uh-huh.
And I was like,
I vaguely remember that.
no, never gonna happen. I think I finally found it maybe like 5 years ago in like an old drawer, and I was like, yeah, I need to throw that away. But yeah, because you would have all like these testers or like free product and stuff, and highly discounted toys, sex toys, things like that.
Back when you'd actually put batteries in it. That's
Yeah.
the best part.
Yeah, oh my god, fucking
like,
always having to have
unscrew it.
batteries. Yeah, because none of them were like rechargeable. And then I remember you would pay me to help you keep your like apartment clean with sex toys or like lubes or like flavored lubes, things like that. Like I had everything. It looked like I was a freak at like 18 years old. But I remember one time like changing your sheets because like I was cleaning your bed and there was like fucking 5 dildos or something, and I was like, Jesus Christ, all in her bed. And I'm like, are they crusty? They're crusty. You're gonna have to clean them. And you were like, no, I just keep them all right there. Because I don't think you had like a bedside table or anything, because it was like a
Just want to go flip the sheets off and knock the lamp over with a dick.
Yes. There was another time this happened more than once, but like that was probably like I was just like, how many do you need? There was another time I think I was picking up your pillow because you would like keep them in your pillowcase.
Yeah, I would.
Like, Jesus.
Gotta keep them at the ready.
So now every time, because you come over and sleep over, we go camping a lot. Every time I grab your pillow, I'm like, what's in here?
I like I said, you got to keep them at the ready. You like twisted your wrist. Keep them at the ready.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, so lots of sex toys.
Do you want to hear a really funny story about all of that? Oops.
Yeah.
So
It is a sex podcast.
yes, it's true. So I had these totes full of that stuff after I stopped selling it. Mm-hmm. And then I moved into that house. Remember when I lived in that house full of bodybuilders?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yes.
I visited quite often.
I mean, they weren't unattractive.
And they never wore clothes. They just walk
didn't.
around in underwear all the fucking time.
I remember my best friend coming visiting once, and she like came down and she's like, I can't believe that just happened. I'm like, what happened? And she's like, he just like had a full-on conversation with me.
In a
like,
towel.
I think just like whitey tighties.
Oh, okay. I
and
do
they're all
remember her.
tatted up.
Yeah.
And so she was just like, not traumatized, but just in shock for a moment. But they were clear totes. They were clear purple totes because purple's my color. But I had them in there. And there was this book called Tickle His Pickle.
Mm-hmm. I have that one. Mm-hmm.
I remember Tickle His Pickle.
Yeah.
I've seen that book. I've never read it, but I've seen it.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, you probably don't have
I've
to
got
read
the
it.
user's manual.
Yeah. I was going to say, you
Yeah.
just know.
Yeah. It's intuitive.
You born with it?
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We can't say that on here.
Why can't we?
Just kidding.
Oh, it's like,
I think we
shit.
can.
Okay. So purple totes, clear purple totes with bodybuilders.
Yeah. Yes, with bodybuilders. One time I came downstairs because it was down in the basement right by my room that I would just like haul up all of my stuff. And I think that's when they just realized what was in there because they read and all 5 of them were just like sitting there like looking at the totes and like peeking in. They didn't hear me come downstairs and they're just like
Huddled around these sex toys.
These crates of dicks
yeah. They're just like
and lubes.
Yeah.
and they totally treated me different after that.
That's
It
funny.
was so
They
funny.
were like, dear God, she's going to butt rape us in our sleep.
She's going to be coming for us.
I think I got some more respect. I see what you did there.
Jesus.
Take a moment.
But don't.
So yeah, your sex toys, selling a lot of those.
Yeah, it was really fun.
I think it's fun. Those were fun parties too.
Yeah, they were. It was really stressful. I didn't being me and being the introvert that I am. I didn't enjoy like the whole having to advertise myself and get people signed up for parties or anything. But I loved. I mean, it must like run in the family or something. But I loved educating people on stuff and the actual parties and like showing this is what you can do and talking about what their partners enjoy and what they can
Empowering
enjoy.
them. Yes.
That's one of my I love empowering people.
Do you remember the masturbator assister thing that had the pierced tongue? Do you remember those? It was like purple and it had like a tongue sticking out and you could get the optional tongue stud.
I didn't know there was a tongue stud. I had the tongue.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember mine came with the one that my ex-wife bought came with a tongue stud.
That's cool.
And I remember like when she showed up, she like presented it to me like she was so proud. And I was like, did you just buy an excuse not to have sex with me? Is that what that is? Like I was so mad that thing existed. I was like, just use your parts. That's what they're for. Yeah. But, I was younger. But I was just like, yeah, why does it have its tongue pierced? You don't have your tongue pierced. I have my tongue pierced. What's going on here? Sex toys.
Yeah, I was gonna say something and then I
Anomic aphasia.
just forgot for sure. That was definitely so toys.
Have you seen the SpongeBob where he's like imagination and it's a big rainbow? Okay, well we should be like anomic aphasia.
I want a shirt. Give me a shirt,
We'll
please.
make it happen.
I always look at Brady.
I know.
Do the things and the stuff and make it happen.
The thing is Jamie took some notes out here, and so now I don't have anywhere to write down. Normally, I'm taking notes during the show.
Yeah, always.
So I'm gonna forget everything.
Do we have all of our vocabulary words in one place?
They're all in a notebook.
Okay, we need to get all those like
We've got to condense
digitized.
them.
Yeah. Because there's words that we've like made up and stuff like
Oh, nice.
lazy fuck.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you mutually masturbate with your partner.
Yep.
Just-
Taint towel, cum rag,
There's the zombie fuck.
zombie fuck.
When you kind of start having sex still asleep with your partner and then you're like, oh, we're doing this already.
What's happening?
Yeah, so there's just a few of those. There's quite a few like over the years. We've been doing this for a little bit. So
I have to go through the notebook. There's a ton.
do you have any questions for me, Allegra?
I'm trying to think. I know that one question I had for you was before was more like if you felt more open with me now that you had come out, because now we're much more authentic with one another. I feel that. Like I feel the openness in our relationship.
Yeah, I think I was like, oh, you know what? It's probably just because she lives with mom and dad. It's this, that, and it's like, no, there was really just probably some things that were just closed off. And now it's like, why did I try to hide them from my sister? Like we've always been pretty open.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever really like sold each other out other than like when we did lie to cover up cars getting pushed out of the driveway. Because I think I did finally throw you under the bus. I was like, well, Allegra tried to sneak out. Probably only after I got in trouble. And then I would try to throw you under the bus to deflect.
That tracks. That sounds on brand for you.
Definitely. Anytime they would try to, like, I would get in trouble for something, I'd be like, well, you know what Allegra did last night?
Wow.
And I still trusted you. I don't know. That's
You
great.
would still try to convince me. You're like, I'll pay you to not tell them. I remember you bribing me so hard with certain
I believe
things.
that too.
Oh, yeah.
I'll stop. I won't
This
protect
girl
you from the
has
red cars.
worked so hard forever, always with multiple jobs, everything. So she always had money, and so she was always giving me money to like bribe me to do something or whatever. Like, tell mom and dad this or whatever. I'll go take you out to dinner. I'll buy you a coffee for a week. Like things like that. I remember that all
My
the
favorite
time.
would be like, let's go to Hot Topic.
Hot Topic.
Hell
fucking-
yeah, Hot Topic was the shit.
Dude, we spent so much time in Hot Topic.
Yeah.
It's the jewelry for me. I remember always like loving all the accessories.
It was always the wounded girl behind the register for me,
Oh, Jesus.
with her side-swept hair and her dark eyeliner.
We were just talking about this. We were like, we should throw a party of dress like you did in high school. And so we were talking about what we would wear. And she was like, I'd wear Dickies.
I wear Dickies,
Dickies.
capris specifically because I had black Dickies or capris I wear all the time. Chucks. And then probably a band shirt. But then I changed my mind, remember? I said a little skater skirt. I had Argyle socks. Knee
Dude,
socks.
I remember having the Argyle socks
Still
in every
Chucks.
fucking color.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Still Chucks. And then my Nightmare for Christmas shirt, which I would still wear. I still wear all that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I let
And
mom
you would
dress
wear-
me a lot because I'm like, if you're buying me clothes, sure.
That would have been me in the middle.
With your hair.
Billy Joel,
Oh yeah, I dyed my hair black, everything. Yeah.
Spiky hair.
the guy liner,
Oh yeah.
skinny tie.
I'd always get girls to do my guy liner too. It was like a good way to meet them.
That always really pissed me off when a guy would ask me to do that. I was like, fuck you. If you want that, you do it yourself.
Earn
What?
it. Earn
Yeah.
it.
For real? Oh, girls would like
she's
fucking
also like
melt.
a trained makeup artist.
Oh, girls would like melt when I'd walk over and be like, "Hey, you're kind of cute. Help me out with this." They'd be like, "Oh."
This is probably why I like intimidated the shit out of guys in high school.
No, fuck you.
You do it yourself. If you want guy liner,
What would you have done?
You earn it. You do it yourself.
Yeah.
If she got lippy, if I walked
someone
up
could-
and if they talked
If I
about
said shit like that.
I don't know. I'd probably backhand compliment you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I had some like I would get that a lot. Or like they're like, oh, what a bitch. As they're walking
Oh,
away.
I would never
So they
call a
look at
girl a
my
bitch
face.
because that means you lose. I would never call a girl a bitch because that means you lose.
You lose.
It's a game. So the whole thing's a game. When I was in high school, the whole thing was a game.
Yeah.
So if I called you a bitch, I lose because there's no way you're gonna sleep with me now. I just called you a bitch.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm not a game person. Obviously, I don't play games. Just tell
Yeah.
people how it is.
Yeah,
She
but
just
girls
fucks with your head.
girls play.
Yeah.
That's why she
no,
says she doesn't play games.
thinks
just
she's not
to
a game
fuck with
person.
you even more.
Everyone's gonna have so much trust issues with me
Right.
after watching.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this.
No, I just I would be like, I don't know, yours just looked really good. Sorry. I don't know.
So do you make money doming? Did you charge?
No, because at first it was like with like partners or like people I just wanted to try stuff with.
That's fun.
And then most recently I was in a relationship where like technically I what's the word? Identify as a switch, which means you would either dom or sub. But I would only sub for this person.
Gotcha.
But
That's cool.
yeah. I don't do it still. I said maybe I did earlier. I don't.
Yeah.
Outside of relationship.
Well, I
So-
mean,
When it comes to me and dom sub relationships, I don't actively search for a sub. But if like Jamie and I are talking to somebody and all of a sudden it
I feel
dawns
like it
on me.
naturally comes out.
Yeah, if
too.
it naturally
Yeah.
comes out, it's a lot more enjoyable. Like if I put up an ad where I'm looking for a sub, you get fucking weird people, and then you're just like, and it's not that they're weird,
You're
it's
on
just that
Craigslist.
they just like,
There might not be chemistry because
there's not chemistry there,
If you
yeah.
find it together as you're within discussions,
Yeah.
then usually there's chemistry there. Right?
exactly. Like
Yeah.
I want to be into you and like already kind of have a little bit going on before I'm like, also, if you'd like, I could hang you from the ceiling in the basement till you piss yourself.
If you're kind of like into that, well, it's funny because you were saying you were aromantic. I hope I'm not giving anything away. Just
No,
kidding.
no,
I know
no.
you've-
Oh
I know
no,
you've
we've
said it on
discovered
here.
this on
Everybody
the
knows.
show for sure.
I think
I'm
we
like,
all
well, there's like a test, and like all of them, I've scored
discovered it. We
so
all knew.
low. Well, like I always knew like there was something that I'm like, maybe it's because we weren't nurtured enough as we were young or something. Like our mom was very nurturing. She was just kind of like not coddly.
Just different, tough love. That's
Yeah,
probably the
for
best
sure.
way to describe it.
But so I'm like, I don't know. Are we like not touchy feely enough? Like I was just like, maybe it's just how I was raised and whatever, and never really thought much of it until I started learning about more of like what aromantic was and like asexual, all the things. And so I was like, well, I'm definitely not asexual. So yeah. So aromantic, what were you bringing up about that?
Yeah, I was bringing that up because I feel like I got it's not like it's doled out, but like I got all the romantic part. So a lot of it too is even with doming and subbing, I need to have some romance in there. And that's why I say like in a relationship.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And now don't like get paid for that.
Yeah.
Because it's more of like,
I hear people's like romantic
thing.
gestures and they were like, oh, how sweet. And I was like, like,
well, it's so funny because
I
I'm
just,
kind
like,
of that way
scoff
too.
at it, but it's just like, don't care for someone to do that for me.
But my idea of romantic is different. Like, where it's like, it's romantic if you think about me in a certain way.
Gotcha.
Or, you know, call me certain things. But, like, it doesn't matter. Anyway, but
I was like, where are we going with this?
I don't know where I was going with that. But I don't like with, like, hugging or if, like, holding hands. That was always really weird for me. Like,
Cuddly.
Don't touch my hands.
Yeah. And I definitely know I got that from Mom.
Yeah,
Mom's
exactly.
like, not touchy
Like,
feely.
don't touch me at all. But I need the romance as part of the sexual experience.
Gotcha.
Which I know you don't.
I don't.
Yes.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Which isn't a bad thing. That's just...
Yeah. But I definitely don't need any, like, cuddly. I don't need it. There's few far between people that I really, really trust that I want it when I'm having a really bad day. So, like, my spouse, like, if I'm having a really shitty day, I'm like, well, you just hold me. And that's rare. And he soaks every second of that up, you
I'll
know?
bet he does.
Yeah.
Because he's a big teddy bear.
Yeah, for sure. And so I'm just like, most of the time. And then, of course, we had to get a fucking COVID puppy. We got a dog during the shutdown.
Yeah. Your fuzzy cock block,
Yeah.
which is in the glossary.
It is. She's so cute. She's the only thing I'm like, yeah, I'll let you snuggle with me and not push you off. And my daughter, like, who needs so much.
She is very much.
Just her
That's her
future
love language.
partners. Just, you're welcome. Is all I'll say. You're welcome. Yeah, no, she's definitely, and she knows what she wants, which I'm glad that she can communicate it. But yeah, she's like very much. She woke up. The minute she woke up this morning, I'm coming in to cuddle. And I was like, okay. And then like all throughout today. I mean, it is a weekend day, so it's time for me to spend with her. So it's fun. But yeah, those are the only two people that I'm like, okay, sure. My spouse, I try and I really have to like put a lot of effort to be like, yes, you need this. I need to remove that like automatic self barrier, you know, like I just don't even try and it's there. So I have to like work through it to be like, oh yeah, I forgot that's a need of yours. I need to work on that. I need to remember. But yeah, it's kind of funny how we're different and we were raised in the same household. Our parents are still together, still married. And you were definitely the black sheep forever. I was the surface white sheep. I was the black sheep wearing the white sheep costume for a very long time. And was very much like, my presentation matters. So like, that's why I never wanted to disappoint teachers. Like what you see is, I wanted you to think what you were getting.
That sounds like a lot of work.
And that's why I was kind of like,
do it.
fuck this. I'm having a podcast. I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want. I'm not going to censor myself anymore because I've censored myself for so long. I've tried to meet someone else's ideals. Bleached my black, I almost said fur. What do they have?
Wool.
You know, I just felt like I needed to be someone I wasn't for a long time for other people to like me. And you were just like, so for me to say, I don't give a shit. I really did care what people thought of me, but I didn't care for people to control me. So that was a huge dichotomy in itself, which is really hard.
That should be your new sign off. You're not in charge of my body.
You're not the boss of my body.
That's my body.
All right, let's do it.
You both made the same face when you said it.
Our facial expressions, and when we're pissed, people know.
Yeah, and I can't act that out. That has to be like in the moment, genuine.
Brady's had it plenty of times. He knows, well, not plenty of times, but he knows the look. He's been on the other end of that.
I've been on the receiving end of the look. Yeah.
I had a teammate, the one who I'm a manager, and I had someone reporting to me, and she's like, "Yeah, I can tell you're pissed because you just gave that look." She's like, "I'm so glad that I've never been on the receiving end of that." I was like, "That's because you're a good teammate."
Yeah.
Which is maybe not a good thing, but.
So anyone who's watching the YouTube video wants to tell us about that, how hilarious it was to see them both make the same face, you can tell us at saltysexcast@gmail.com.
Or comment below.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
Hit the like button.
Smash that subscribe.
Smash that subscribe. Yeah.
Love it.
Are we
Yeah.
going to be those cheesy YouTube people that suck now? Yes. I'm so excited.
Follow us on Facebook.
Twitter. I've been doing that all week.
Thank you, Brady. Thank you for working hard for our Twitter account.
All week at Salty Sex Cast.
Yes.
It's the best Twitter on all of the tweets.
Mm-hmm. And if
Look
you
at
want to play our next game of Truth or Dare, or come hang out with us with a live Q&A, we do that on Zoom with our patrons.
Mm-hmm.
That you can become a patron at patreon.com/saltysexcast. A huge shout out to all of our current and past patrons that have really helped bring our podcast to life. Some of the expenses just keep coming, with the podcast life, and you guys really help keep all the lights on. So thank you so much.
And when it goes really well, we reinvest. Like we are now on YouTube with camera that came from Patreon. So, yeah.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Really appreciate all of you. And do you have any last things to say, Allegra?
No, thanks for having me here. It was super fun.
All right.
It went fast.
Sounds good, everyone. You're not the boss of my body. I'm not sure if I'll do it. I don't know. It kind of sounds.
I like it.
You got to do the face though.
Thanks for listening to Salty Sexcast. You're not the boss of my body.
All right, there you go. You say.
Thanks for listening to the Salty Sexcast.
You're not the boss of my body.
Thank you for listening to the Salty Sexcast. Ready for round 2? Find us on Facebook.